I did. This is take 2.
Sorry, guys. That's crazy.
We'll just wait for the feed to freshen up here.
We'll give you guys a chance to jump back on. Hopefully everyone can get back on.
Yeah. And
is that a Facebook issue? That was a Facebook issue.
You know, maybe tomorrow's dialogue will be on internet service providers and... Hey, there you go. Oops, spelling mistake there. MECs. MEC Witches Social Take 2. Sorry about that. Yeah, maybe tomorrow's discussion can be on internet service providers. Who do you recommend? Because our patience is running thin. As you know, this has been a dialogue, a frustration for ours for a little while. Hi again,
hey,
Jen. And once again, at our house, the internet is back out. Kids are like rangy and freaking out. Now we're 2 days without them being able to log in. Homework is backing up, piling up. Fortunately, their teachers are somewhat understanding, but the communication with our current internet service provider is spotty. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah.
And we're having some moments of frustration. And unfortunately, that's also showing up here at the shop. It's no matter where we go, it seems poor internet.
I get it.
Could be any number of things.
I get it. There is a lot of people online, probably.
Yep.
So I do have some patience in that sense, but I mean, it sucks right now. Okay, so
people are back in. Kim, Sharon, Melissa, and 226-931-1419 is the number if anybody would like to call in and talk about their experiences, because it's easier or quicker to... Oops.
We got kicked out, part 2.
So sorry about that. April's rejoining.
Awesome,
glad to see you.
Awesome.
Hopefully everybody else can catch up. Hello again. Hello from Jackie. Yes, good to see you.
Thank you guys for coming back on. I know
Thanks
that's frustrating when we get kicked off.
Yep. Not only does it break our feed, but it breaks our train of thought as well. I guess what we were discussing was spirit guides versus angel guides, that sort of thing. Wrapping your belief into an idea of what that is for comfort and security. Good example of this. This is something that we talked about. I think it was in a servitor workshop, basically chaos magic servitors. I believe it's all sort of the same energy, and we can get into that in another time. But spirit guides, you're not going to be comfortable with a spirit guide that is overwhelming, intimidating, scary, terrifying, right? So you're not going to connect strongly with that if that's what's coming through. So I believe we have the capacity to form and shape the things that we're familiar with. Hi, Margot, Jennifer, good to see you guys found us again. Sorry about the problems there. So yes, absolutely, spirit guides, very beneficial. I look at them as, well, we're solitary practitioners, honestly. We privately do our craft, we'll share our experiences, but honestly, other than our MEC events that we've done, we haven't really practiced anything together.
We don't.
No, we don't.
Nope.
I mean, you'll send me off to do my own thing, or you'll go and do your own thing. But honestly, we share our experiences afterwards.
Well, we communicate afterwards.
We do, and beforehand, but it's still
we have some ideas
personal.
of each other's angles on spirit guides, and we're very much on the same page with this kind of thing. But as far as doing stuff together, very solitary for us.
So the nice thing is, if you are a solitary practitioner like us, you can act your spirit guide or connect with your spirit guide as a observer, as a participant in your spell work, as somebody who is acknowledging and not only possibly providing you with advice, but maybe just being in your presence. As we shared with one of our friends and customers who was talking about it this morning, it was just the presence of them being with them as they meditated and the comfort and security that they got from that. And that's fantastic. I would say a very positive utilization of spirit guide energy. And at the end, I'll share a little spell or a little ritual that you can do to connect with spirit guides, possibly for the purpose of getting insight and information and advice. So for a solitary practitioner, if you don't have a group or a coven that you can practice with, this is a really nice way to enlarge your circle without actually requiring people.
That was like this morning. She had someone there with her doing her meditation. Someone new at that, so it just gave a little excitement to the craft that she was working on.
I wasn't there this morning.
Yeah. No, you weren't meditating this morning.
I didn't, no.
So Sharon has a question. Do they pick you or do you call to them? I believe personally you can do both, and I also believe a third step, you can create one as well. Very much... we're all about controlling the energy that's around us, and that's, to me, is what spirit guides are, is energy. So you can form and control the energy.
Okay, so on that note, I do remember now what we were talking about was children and their innate ability to be able to sense, perceive, create even. Now, that being said, when we say create energy, you cannot actually create energy from nothing. You are forming the energy that is around you into an essence. So, yeah, no,
hang on. There's questions coming in. First, so we did ask a couple questions at the beginning of the video. One, if you have a spirit guide, for any of those people who are just jumping on. Two, tell us a little bit about your spirit guide. And three, now, I want to know, as a child, did you have imaginary friends?
There you go. So I guess that leads into these two questions that are showing up, is do they pick you or do you call to them? Again, that's what came first, the chicken or the egg? There's no real safe or knowledgeable way of answering that, because you may have picked them based on the fact that you're familiar with them already on a subconscious level. And if you've been with us before for our discussion about the realms of consciousness, the iceberg scenario here, the iceberg illustration, it would be worth commenting that they've probably always been with you. You just didn't necessarily see them or recognize them before. So then when you create them, you're basically acknowledging the energy that they've already been, and you're just connecting and saying, okay, this is what I like, this is what I'm familiar with, and they're like, about time you figured it out and caught on to it. So I would say one and the same.
I wouldn't want to sit around and wait for a spirit guide. If you're into the practice and spirituality and you need that spirit guide for something, I would go ahead and create.
Yes.
Why sit around? It's like when people tell us you have to be given your first set of tarot cards.
Right.
I'm not sure why that is, why people believe that, but if I want to learn something now and today, I am not going to sit there and wait for someone to give me a deck of tarot cards. I'm going to walk out to the store, pick the deck that I enjoy, or ask you to pony up the cash and buy it for me.
Yeah.
Right? So spirit guides, although not a tool like tarot cards, they are still a tool for your magical workings, your spiritual guidance.
Your connection.
So, yeah, your connection. So create. Don't sit around and wait for your spirit guide to come to you. Call them if that's what you feel.
Charmaine asks, how long do they stay with us? Again, I would argue that that's an indefinite thing. Your ability to connect with them, that might be the limitations. Could you perhaps evolve beyond what you connected with originally and connect with something else? Certainly. Again, if we're looking at the idea that as a child we are connecting with a spirit guide of some sort, perhaps that spirit guide is only with us for a period of time until we, as we evolve and grow as children, our spirit guide, maybe it's a different spirit guide, maybe it's our own same spirit guide that is connecting and evolving and growing with us, but comes across in a different way.
So I think this is a good time for you to talk about your experience with spirit guides as a child, and then again as an adult, because I think this hits that question, how long do they stay with you?
Okay. Yeah, I'm quickly calculating what I'm willing to say here.
Calculate, okay. And I will read April's. When I was a child, I had lots of imaginary friends. I would talk and sing and play by myself. Me too, all the time. I was never short of any friends. Lots of friends around me. Not everyone could see them, but yeah, lots of friends. And then Melissa, I don't have a spirit guide, but I keep being visited by a wolf, like a dog in my dreams that will linger with me. I've always felt oddly connected to dogs. Okay, so we can get into that. So spirit animal, if that's what you're choosing it to be, definitely. Or I would look up some dream symbolism there as well. Jen, what form can messages from your spirit guide take? Like a special song on the radio or a certain smell that reminds you of them? Yep, or dreams, like
Mm-hmm.
Melissa was just talking about. Messages through meditation, for sure.
Yep.
Yep. Yeah, little, I call it little hints from the universe. So today, when I was talking to my friend and she was telling me about her meditation this morning, I kind of recognized that I don't actually have a spirit guide. I've never created anything. I don't have one, but I'm always accepting signs from the universe, symbolism, signs. It's a huge, huge part of my life. So I think that kind of takes the place of my spirit guide.
Yeah. I'm sort of reflecting here, not that I wasn't
Yeah,
listening,
no, it's okay.
but on what Jen said, and I wanted to comment on this. What form can messages can they take? Certain smells that remind you of them. On a weird note, that is a big one for me. I did share that in previous video communications, socials that we've had. Smell is a big one for me. It's a constant trigger and a reminder. So yeah, that's not unusual, and you can certainly tap into that when you feel that shift of energy and that sense of smell kicks in and says, this is specific, pay attention. I'm big for that. Funny thing for me, my smell that was a trigger, but also what I viewed as a clear sign or an indication from the universe, my spirit guide, while also being from the past and in the past as well. It's a real mind trippy perspective, but when you kind of open your with, it stood outside of my belief structure as a Christian, but I was okay and comfortable